Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making up these wonderful fall cookies. Persimmon cookies. Stick around. I've got a real treat for you today. My boss the other day came up to me and he said, or he asked, "Do you like persimmons?" And I thought for a minute. I said, you know, I don't know. I haven't had persimmons since I was like 10. So, I don't know. Why do you ask? And he says to me, he says, well, because my neighbor has a persimmon tree and he gave me a bunch of persimmons. And I said, yeah. And he says, well, I thought you might like to have a couple persimmons. So, okay. I said, I'm not sure what I would do with them, but all right. I mean, I thought for a minute. I said, well, maybe I can make cookies. He says, yeah, maybe you can make cookies. Taking the hint, I said, okay, all right. I'll look up a recipe for persimmon cookies. I'll make use of persimmon cookies. I said, I got to tell you, I've never made persimmon cookies before in my entire life. I don't know how they're going to turn out, but I'll make them for you, and I'll share them with everybody. And, you know, I mean, that's all I can do. He chuckled a little bit, and he says, yeah, that'd be a good thing. He goes, yeah, share them with everybody. I says, okay. So the next day, he brings me a bag of persimmons. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with all these persimmons? I'm going to make cookies with all these persimmons? And I looked at the recipe, and the recipe only said that I needed like 2 persimmons. And he gave me a bag of like 8 to 10 persimmons. I'm like, okay. Anyway. So last week I made a batch of persimmon cookies. I made about 3 dozen cookies, I guess it was. And I took them in and I shared them. I gave him some to take home to his family. And I shared some with my other co-workers and stuff. And they all liked them. I didn't particularly care for them. I didn't really much like I'm not sure what it was that I didn't like about them. I just didn't really like them that much. However, a lot of the other co-workers said they loved them and asked if I would make more. And I says, yeah, I'll make you some more, because I still had some left. So, today, I'm going to make persimmon cookies. Okay, what I've discovered about persimmons is supposedly you can eat them raw. You can eat them right off the tree. That they taste kind of like an apple. They're sweet and they taste kind of like an apple. Who knew? We grow a lot of persimmons out here in this area that I live in. There's actually a couple orchards, persimmon orchards out here. So it's a really popular fruit out here in the West. I didn't know that either. But anyway, I also discovered that you don't need to peel them in order to make cookies with them. You can actually just cut them and make the cookies with them skin on if you like. However, that being said, the preferred method is to go ahead and peel them and then puree. We're going to puree the persimmon in the blender here, and then we're going to get to making a cookie. I discovered all this last week, by the way. So this is the second time I'm making a batch of persimmon cookies. It probably will be the last time I'm making a batch of persimmon cookies. Just simply for the fact that I just did not care for them. Okay? Anyway, the recipe calls for 2 large persimmons. I actually have 4 persimmons here. I used 3 in the last batch. I'm going to go ahead and use 3 again in this batch. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the last one. Anyway, I'm going to get these peeled and I will bring you back. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to just cut off this flour here. There. And again, I'm going to peel it just like you would peel an apple. Just being careful not to take too much of that pulp out. All right, there you go. A peeled persimmon. Who knew? Who knew you could eat a persimmon just raw like that? Anyway. Let me get the other two peeled. I'll bring you back. Okay. I have my oven preheating for at 350 degrees. So now with my food processor, I have my persimmons. They're all peeled. And so with my food processor, what I'm going to do, get this stuff out of here for just a second here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to give these a, just a couple slices. See, they just slice right through. They're actually... They don't smell bad. They kind of remind me of the texture right now of kind of like a cooked sweet potato. What kind of the texture sort of what reminds me of. And we're just going to puree this because it has to be pureed. It in the fine little pieces. Watch your fingers. All right, let me wash my hands. Giving it some quick pulses. I don't want to make a mush out of it. I want it pureed, but I don't want it mushy. There, that should do it. If you take a look at the texture there, that's what it looks like. Mixture into this bowl. Because this is a process I've learned. And if you can see, it's really just kind of creamy and not really large pieces in there, right? Smooth. So now, what you need to do is you need to take 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and you need to put this into your puree and then mix it together. And I discovered that what that does is it kind of makes this gel up, like a gel. That kind of thickens it up a little bit. All right, set that aside. Now it says to cream together the butter and sugar until fluffy. This is 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And this is 1 cup of white sugar. And all that goodness out of there. Now, we're going to cream it together. We're going to start out on low. The recipe says to cream together the butter and the sugar until fluffy. Then beat in the egg and the persimmons. So we have 1 egg. And we have the persimmons. See, I told you, it's like it makes it kind of like a gel. See that? It's weird. Science of it all, I don't know. All right. Set that aside. Whoops, get that part. There we go. Now it says to stir in the dry ingredients, which would be 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon ground cloves, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And 2 cups of flour. And last but not least, 1 cup of chopped walnuts, and 1 cup of raisins. Now, my oven is heated. To scrape all this off of my mixing blade. And it says drop by rounded teaspoons onto your cookie sheet. Just like so. A bit more. Oh, I just noticed that I was using my finger. Yes, my fingers are clean. Don't send me any hate mail. It's going to be all right. There we go. We're going to put this in the oven for just about, what does it say, 15 minutes at 350. See, here's the recipe right there. 15 minutes for 350. Here we go. Well, there you go, folks. 3½ dozen fresh, yummy, homemade persimmon cookies. Don't those look delicious? Don't they just look so yummy? You just want to reach in there and grab one and just eat it. Nonetheless, they need to cool. Anyway, that is it for me today. Be safe, be kind, and be well. Happy holidays. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.